Greetings, brethren of the Seventh-day Adventist, and happy Sabbath. Today we are going to talk about head covering. We see today in the Church of God, the Seventh-day Adventist, that the women, when they are coming to worship in the Church of God, they are not following the biblical principle. We see that women, they are coming in the Church of God, putting their wigs, their weaves, we see braids and all kinds of hairstyles. Let us see, brothers and sisters, what the Word of God is saying on head covering. We are going to read from 1 Corinthians 11. We are going to read verse 4 to verse 6 and also verse 15. It reads, "Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head. But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered, dishonoreth her head. For that is even all one as if she were shaven. For if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn. But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered." Verse 15. "But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her, for her hair is given her for a covering." We see here, brethren, that most of the people, they only read, they are interested in reading verse 15 of 1 Corinthians chapter 11. They read verse 15 and conclude that her hair is hair covering. They are not putting a head covering when they are praying or prophesying or coming in the house of the Lord for worship. But brothers and sisters, if that is the case, that the hair is the covering, we'll see that if that is the case, every man praying or prophesying in the house of God were supposed to be shaven. We were not supposed to see any hair in the head of a man. This proves that the covering that is spoken of here, it is not the hair. We also see that if that was the case, Apostle Paul was not going to be specific, saying that women must cover their heads when praying or prophesying. We know, brothers and sisters, that we cannot take off our natural hair at any time and put our natural hair back when praying or prophesying. This shows that a head covering is something that you can take off and put on. Hence, when we are praying or prophesying or coming for worship in the house of the Lord, as women, we must cover our heads using a head covering, a hat or something that can be used as a head covering. When we come in the Church of God with our hair, with our weaves, with our braids, we are dishonoring God. When we put a head covering on our heads, it simply shows that we are showing humility. We are humbling ourselves before God. We are putting aside our glory. Yes, the verse said that it is her glory. But when we cover, we are putting aside our glory and worshiping God. Even today, brothers and sisters, we must teach our young girls to cover their heads when they are grown and they are able to understand these things. We must teach them that it is necessary. It is a must to come in the house of the Lord with the humility, with our heads covered as women. We are also going to read 2 Timothy 2 verse 15. It reads, "Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth." We see, brothers and sisters, that as it is today, we fail to rightly divide the word of truth. We don't study the word of God. We just take the things lightly and do the things according to our private interpretations. Enjoy the rest of your Sabbath. God bless.